Hey guys, how's it going? So still on this match with Khabib versus Bob. So here Khabib's going to go for his guillotine. He's going to get the head to pop out just a little bit there because Bob defends nicely. Khabib pushes him over, gets on top, and then now it's his passing sequence. So Khabib immediately starts out with a knee cut. He's going to fall kind of into half guard, and then they're going to play this passing game for a little while. So I just wanted to show you kind of how we got here, but this is kind of not the most interesting part of the sequence. He's just looking for a Kimura here, looking to continue that passing sequence, make sure that Bob doesn't get any kind of half guard constituted, or at least a good half guard. He's constantly threatening this Darce or a guillotine. Right here he kind of plops over for it in order to make sure that Bob doesn't stay too comfortable. Now this is the spot that I think is the most interesting. So when Khabib is passing here, he is passing with a knee cut without an underhook, which is exactly the opposite of the standard, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu ideology that most people get in the kind of prepackaged knee cut pass, right? So not saying that that's wrong. Of course, having underhook on a knee cut pass is a very solid grip to have, something that you should oftentimes fight for, very good. But I think that this is actually very interesting, partly because I feel like I get more knee cut passes now with an overhook than I do with an underhook. And it's kind of not really taught very much. Most of the time when you teach a knee cut pass, it's just get your underhook and then go. So from right here, what's happening is the knee cut pass is almost already finished, right? But you can see that there is an underhook. Bob has this underhook right here, which is good technique. He should have the underhook here. And he's going to try to slip himself out this way. But Khabib's body position completely impairs that slip out motion, because with a standard knee cut, if Bob has the underhook, Khabib's body position would be like this. He would have torso here, hips right there, and then legs coming out this way, right? He would have this bend, and sometimes you have the head like on the head right here. Use your forehead and the person's chin, really smash them into the floor while you've got your underhook. If you lose the underhook in that situation, it's very easy for somebody on the bottom, in this case our friend Bob, to just jack this underhook up into the air and then go through that slipping out process here with this this kind of trajectory out down into the towards the back, right, to slip out into top turtle. Very easy for that to happen. Now Khabib has decided to lay across the body of Bob, and he's taken his whole body and flipped it out this way. So now we see the hips here, we see the torso up here, and we see the legs coming down this way, right? So instead of having an angle, which I'll kind of draw a dotted line here, the dotted line angle, this is like traditional, so we'll have like T for traditional over here, and then we'll have this one right here, like O for overhook, right? So the overhook one, we have our body laying across the person, and that's what kills the underhook. With the traditional one, we have an underhook, which kills their underhook, because if you have an underhook, your opponent obviously doesn't. They have some kind of overhook or no grip at all. These are just different ways of killing the underhook. One is you don't let them have them. You don't let them have the underhook in the first place. That's the traditional method, right? Second method is you allow the underhook, but you lay your body across the underhook in a way that it becomes very weak, because we know that as our body gets closer and closer to the wrist, the underhook gets weaker and weaker, right? So anytime that an opponent has an underhook on you, you want your body or your armpit or whatever it is that you have to slide closer and closer to their wrist the entire time. That's going to make it more and more powerful, right? So you want to keep that motion going downwards. You don't want to allow them to just keep jacking the underhook up higher and higher and higher, because as soon as their shoulder gets closer and closer to your armpit, their underhook is getting almost unstoppably strong at that point, right? You never want that to happen. You're going to get your back taken at some point there, right? So that's kind of this image right here is kind of the whole point that I wanted to make, of just how to stop an underhook, multiple methods on how to do it, and what constitutes the strength of an underhook, which is basically what your relative body position is along the course of your opponent's arm. Close to the wrist, when your body is there, you have a very good chance at stopping their underhook because it's very weak, and closer to the shoulder, you don't have as good of a chance because their underhook is very strong, right? So just an interesting little point to make from a match. Next time we'll go through the rest of the match, but I just wanted to spend a moment on this image because I think it's very important.